Today we're going to make some Barracuda tubes. They're kind of an odd looking lure and they kind of specifically only really work for the Barracudas. But all they are is a surgical tubing with a wire and either a treble or a single hook. Their action that they provide is that you want the actual normal bend that you would come from the surgical tubing, so they're kind of got a little curve to them. And what it does is it rotates through the water, it actually rolls. Now to us, you can kind of think the rolls wouldn't be very significant, but what happens though is it's rolling and spinning, it actually creates an optical illusion of it actually just kind of swimming back and forth like a snake would on the ground. And that's kind of the action that it provides, but the reeling speed that you want is basically as fast as you can reel, as much as humanly possible, I guess. And what it is that it's an instinctive aggression bite that the Barracudas are going after these things for. It's not really a, ooh, look at that food going by, let me grab it. Although these are supposed to resemble a needlefish, but it's mainly that instinctive aggression bite that you're trying to get, and then by throwing it kind of in front of but past and then ripping it right in front of them will generally kick that instinct in, and then you'll see them run and gun and chase it. Even though they might not bite it right away, don't stop and slow down, because as soon as you do, it looks unnatural to them and they just kind of back off and just like, not so fun anymore, and they stop. So you just keep going right up to the rod tip, and if they don't bite, then you just gotta wait and then reset and throw it out again. So just a lot of casting, ripping. This one was my last year's and it's kind of destroyed, so I need to resupply and make a couple more. So that's what we're going to do today. So keep on watching. Thanks. Okay, let's start by getting a foot of tubing out here. Let's lay that out. We just need 1 foot to get us going. Doesn't need to be too exact. Another thing you could do is make what they call peanuts, which are basically the same lure. You'll run a weight on the top, and you'll just cut it just maybe a couple of inches, just depending on size, but most likely like 1.5 inches or so. And then run a single hook, and then just kind of trim to make a little tail there, and have the wire come out to a swivel or a loop here in front, and then just be able to toss those out, and they work fairly well as a cheap little lure. But we've got that, so we're good there. I want about 16 inches of the SureFlow line. So, and again, that doesn't need to be too perfect either, because we're going to be cutting and crimping and doing other parts of this. So that's good there. I don't need that. Alright, so now what we're going to do is to insert this line in there first, and then we're going to run this weight up inside there. And the easiest way to do it is just put a couple of drops of dishwashing soap liquid in there, and you can kind of run this most of the way through and just get it inserted, and then just kind of squeeze it up approximately about halfway. Some people will put it right at the end. From the lure companies, they've put them in the center there. I have a feeling so that they don't get squeezed out and popped out. So about a little bit, about 1/3 of the way down, I guess would be about right. Okay, and then we've got the ends there. Then we can go ahead and put the hook on here. So we're going to put a crimp on there, treble, run it back. Imagine you could double up and all that stuff on here, but it's not that big a deal. And you want to make sure you crimp correctly. There. And second one. Oops. important to get a good quality crimp on these. Okay, that looks solid. From there, you can go ahead and cut these prior, but we're just going to put that little bit of a flared tail on there, or the trim tail on it. And I'm just going to cut up a bit. There, and then make it a bit of a point. Make it a little cleaner. There. And I need a swivel. Got those. And we'll run a swivel. Double crimp it, and that's basically it. So you want to do is to make sure that when you store these, keep them wrapped up in kind of like a coil, because you want that bend, which will give you that spin and that wobble. Like this one's falling apart because it kind of broke in the curves, and now it's just straight. So when I pull this one, it just flows straight through the water with no action, so it looks like just a straight eel going straight across. But this one will get that flipping reaction, and then it'll kind of turn them on a little bit more and get that little swivel effect. But that's basically it. Pretty simple. Much more cost effective if you have the tools with you. But if you don't, then it's kind of a balance. And they last fairly well, but these things will get chewed up pretty quickly if you start catching too many barracudas. But otherwise, that's it. Thanks.